My grandparents worshipped my cousin while treating the rest of us like servants, until they accidentally live-streamed themselves admitting the truth. Grandpa was a retired bank executive, and Grandma had inherited money from her family's textile business. They had 4 kids and eventually 9 grandchildren, but from the moment Blake was born, he was the chosen one. First grandson, son of their eldest son, looked exactly like Grandpa as a baby. That was all it took. Blake got his own bedroom at their house, while the rest of us shared a bunk bed in the basement when we visited. His room had a TV, gaming system, mini fridge, and its own bathroom. The cousin's room had moldy carpet and a bathroom with no hot water that Grandpa never got around to fixing. Every Christmas was a masterclass in favoritism. Blake would get actual presents, laptops, bikes, later car down payments, and college funds. The rest of us got identical $20 bills and generic cards. Grandma would make us sit and watch Blake open his gifts for an hour, expecting us to clap and tell him how lucky he was. If we didn't look happy enough, she'd lecture us about jealousy being ugly. But the really sick part was how they used us as props in Blake's life. When Blake played Little League, all the cousins had to attend every game wearing shirts with his face on them that said, Blake's cheering squad. When he had a science fair, we had to help him build his project while he played video games upstairs. Grandma would take photos of us working and post them with captions like, everyone helping Blake achieve greatness. Family teamwork. They threw Blake elaborate birthday parties every year at country clubs or rented venues. The rest of our birthdays, Grandma would buy a grocery store sheet cake and sing half-heartedly before reminding us that not everyone needs to be the center of attention. The favoritism got more expensive as Blake got older. They paid for his private school tuition while telling my sister they couldn't help with her textbooks because public school kids need to learn struggle builds character. They bought Blake a BMW for his 16th birthday, but told me a car would make me lazy and entitled when I turned 16 the same year. Blake knew exactly what he was doing. He'd casually mention wanting something in front of them, then smirk at us when it appeared. He'd deliberately break or lose things just to watch them replace it immediately while telling us to take better care of our belongings when our stuff wore out. College was the breaking point for most of us. Grandparents fully funded Blake's education at an expensive private university, tuition, housing, meal plans, spring breaks, even a monthly fun money allowance. When my brother, who'd gotten into MIT, asked if they could help with his dorm fees, Grandpa said investing in too many grandchildren would dilute the family resources, and he needed to keep funds focused where they'd have the most impact. Blake studied business, barely passed with C's and D's, and graduated after 6 years. My brother worked 3 jobs, graduated MIT with honors in 4 years, and started at a robotics company. Guess whose photo was on grandparents' Christmas card? The other cousins and I slowly went low contact. We'd show up for major holidays, stay a few hours, and leave. Blake was living his best life, working at a company Grandpa's friend owned, living in a condo the grandparents bought him, driving a new car they'd upgraded him to. Then came Grandma's 85th birthday party last year. Blake was supposed to organize it since he was the favorite. He did nothing except create a Facebook event and tell everyone to show up at their house. The rest of us actually felt bad for Grandma, so we coordinated secretly. My sister baked a cake, I decorated, my brother arranged catering, the other cousins handled music and flowers. The party was beautiful. Grandma kept gushing about how wonderful Blake was for putting it together. Blake, who'd shown up late and empty-handed, just smiled and took credit for everything. We were used to it. Here's where technology betrayed them. Grandma had been trying to figure out Facebook Live to show her church friends the party. She thought she turned it off after showing the decorations, but she'd actually just flipped the camera. For the next hour, their iPad live streamed to all 847 of Grandma's Facebook friends. The stream caught them in the kitchen with Blake during cake cutting, thinking they were alone. You did nothing for this party, Grandpa hissed at Blake. Nothing. Your cousins did everything while you sat on your ass. So, you'll thank me anyway, Blake laughed. You always do. You think we like you? Grandma said, voice dripping with disgust. You're lazy, entitled, and frankly not very bright. Your cousins are all successful despite us, while you're nothing without us. Then why? Blake started. Because your father is our eldest and you're his only child, Grandpa interrupted. It's about lineage, not you. The family name continues through you, unfortunately. Your cousins have different last names or are from our daughters. That's the only reason. We picked the dumbest grandchild to carry the family legacy. Grandma laughed bitterly. Your cousin Janet is a surgeon. Marcus is an engineer. Sarah started her own company. And we're stuck investing in you because you have the right last name and the wrong everything else. Blake was silent. Then Grandpa delivered the kill shot. If we could swap you for any of your cousins and keep the family name, we'd do it in a heartbeat. Even the youngest one has more potential than you ever will. That's when my sister ran in, holding her phone, showing them they were live. The grandparents now have no grandchildren in their lives. Blake hates them for using him. The rest of us were done being props.